Some French citizens want Emmanuel Macron to step down, and the main reason will shock you. As you all know, a lot of companies in France, they have closed down since they don't have the raw materials they used to get.
We have some major breaking news coming from France. 44,000 jobs have been lost in France. 44,000 France people are already jobless from the time they got out of Burkina Faso. You know that Burkina Faso refused to work with France and said that France has been taking a lot from Burkina Faso. It was taking materials from Burkina Faso, cheap materials from Burkina Faso. Some of the materials that the French companies were using were taking them free of charge from Burkina Faso. That is why France never wants to leave Africa. France doesn't want to leave its colonies alone because it was taking gold from Burkina Faso, uranium, gold, and all these materials, and now their companies are shutting down because the people in West Africa have said enough to France. Please, you have to leave our countries. We also want to build ourselves.
Breaking news. This has really hit the headline. France is crying. Yes, France is crying. Imagine 40,000 jobs are lost and 40,000 employees are rendered jobless in France. This is just because Ibrahim Traorè has decided to end partnership with France. He ended partnership. He doesn't want anything to do with France. These people used to exploit Burkina Faso gold for free and take all their resources at a cheaper prices. This is really good news. This is really good news.
This is major breaking news. This will shock you right now. Take a look at this. Companies in France are running out of business. Businesses are diminishing in France currently. Do you know the reason? Because they are no longer getting natural resources, mineral resources they used to get from Africa, from Senegal, from Chad Republic, from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, almost for free. Presidents, leaders in these countries here in Africa have stopped France from exploiting their natural resources, and companies, businesses over there in France started having problems. As you can see the news, I'm not the one saying this. You can see the news, right? And this is one of the reasons the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, said recently that France, Burkina Faso, Niger, Chad Republic, Senegal, and Mali, they are not enemies. They are still friends. And he wished to discuss with the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traorè, to know if he will still allow French troops to station in Burkina Faso. But guess what? Ibrahim Traorè replied him. He told him, but you are still friends with United States, with Canada, with Brazil, right? With China and others. But your troops are not there. Why must you station your troops in Burkina Faso before we can be friends? We can just be friends without you station your troops in Burkina Faso, in Niger, and others. So you are seeing what is happening right now. Take a look at the news. This is what is happening. Their businesses are collapsing and are doing everything possible to return back here in Africa. You know, these are so-called troops. They claim they station here in Africa for peacekeeping mission. I don't know their duties here in Africa because they claim they are here for peacekeeping mission, but terrorist activities are still going on all over Africa. Now check it. Anywhere Western leaders claim that the troops station, check it. Terrorist activities are going on there. Check Middle East. United States troops are there. Terrorist activities are still going there. The troops are here in Africa. Terrorist activities are still going on here in Africa. See here, these are so-called troops help them in exploiting our natural resources. The troops and terrorists, they are like this, 5 and 6. They are working together. Yes, this is what they are doing right now. So he is doing everything possible right now to return to Africa here so that they will continue enslaving us. But these our young leaders here in Africa say that enough is enough. You can see they are having problems. France don't have any natural resources. Go and do your research. They don't have. United Kingdom don't have. We are their source that have been depending on Africa. exploiting our mineral resources, developing their context over there. Go and do your research. They don't have any mineral resources, natural resources, but we have all of them here in Africa, but we are still depending on them, begging them for aid. An abomination. Abomination.
Some French citizens want Emmanuel Macron to step down, and the main reason will shock you. As you all know, a lot of companies in France, they have closed down since they don't have the raw materials they used to get in Burkina Faso. Hence, 44,000 jobs lost, which has made a lot of French citizens to start rethinking. For example, the former French economy minister was requesting, demanding for Emmanuel Macron to step down, and also requesting for other people to do the same. He was requesting for other people to request the same, to demand for Emmanuel Macron to step down. Why? Because he is the reason why Africa is opening their eyes, why Africa, they are united. And for them, if Africa unite, is problem for the West, is a problem for France. So this guy was saying that if Emmanuel Macron continue to stay in power, France will lose. It will be the other way around. It will not be the Africans going to France for better future. It will be now France going to Africa for better future, and he doesn't want that. So he wanted one of these leaders, military leaders like Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, one of those leaders to be taken out, so that the other one can fear and also give up, see that there is no hope.
Breaking news. French citizens want Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, to step down. And let me tell you, this is after most of them have literally lost their jobs. Remember, Ibrahim Traorè said enough is enough. There's nothing these people will be getting from Burkina Faso anymore. And to this point, 44,000 people in France are jobless. And this is the reason as to why they are saying Emmanuel Macron should step down. They were getting free raw materials from Burkina Faso, cheap raw materials from Burkina Faso. This was uranium and a lot of golds from Burkina Faso. But right now, they are really getting nothing. And let me tell you, things are changing. These people are saying no, they don't want. Even the economic minister of Burkina Faso is saying that Emmanuel Macron should step down. And he is the cause of everything that Burkina Faso have done to France. You won't believe this. And let me tell you, Africans are now becoming wiser. And it will get to a point that the people from France are now coming to Africa to seek for jobs, the way Africans go outside countries seeking for jobs. Yeah. And now the game has started. Aluta.
Hey. So Ibrahim Traorè effects, as France's economy is in dilemma right now. So it's been reported that more than 50,000 jobs lost. So people are filing for bankruptcy. So it's only 3 countries that stop France from robbing their natural resources. Imagine if it was all African countries telling France to stop robbing their natural resources. What will happen to the France economy? So France without Africa, what do they think? Let me know.
We, African heads of state, must stop behaving like puppets that dance every time the imperialists pull the strings. When we, the people, decide to defend ourselves, we are labeled as militias, but that's not the issue here. The problem is seeing African heads of state who bring nothing to these people who are fighting, but who sing the same tune as the imperialists by labeling us as militias, thus calling us men who do not respect human rights. What human rights are we talking about? We are outraged by this and it is shameful.
I am Pakistani and I will say it straight. India had every right to hit back. First, you attack their people, and when they respond, suddenly it's all about peace, human rights. But where was that same energy when 26 innocent lives were lost? Now when India hits back, Pakistan suddenly starts playing the victim card. And yes, no one prefers war, neither India nor Pakistan. But when you start breeding terrorism, don't act surprised when it comes back your way. And it's easy to preach peace when it's not your people getting killed. And finally, let's not forget that India never started this. They just responded. And to me, that is not an act of war. That is just justice. Hare Krishna.
We were the one saying that it will be a press conference. You can't just come in and read statements and go. What are you afraid of? What is the army afraid of? Why are they running away like this? What a shame.
Actually, in 1987, when Thomas Sankara was murdered by, of course, the imperialists, you know, one thing that I have come to learn is that as much as you can put someone down, you can never ever kill their ideas, because these are the ideas are the ones that are actually being used by Ibrahim Traorè. So, number one, Sankara refused foreign aid. Sankara, he did cut his salary to the level of a school teacher. He refused luxury vehicles for government officials. We know how African leaders live in luxury, you know. They're just wasting money on luxury things rather than helping their own citizens. Another thing that Sankara did was to stop or ban forced marriages, especially for young children below the age of 18, you know. He dreamt of independence. And all this, it was just cut short after 4 years of that almost attaining the independence by a close friend. But his ideas never ever killed. So, as much as you can kill a man, you can never ever kill their ideas. In today's video, we are going to talk about all this revolution thing that is happening in Africa. And we are going also to talk about the Pakistan-India issue. I don't know what's happening, but we will get there. We will get to the root cause of all this just by doing our videos day by day. So, latest news is that countries like France, the imperialists, they are actually losing jobs because they have always been depending on raw materials from West Africa, especially these three major countries that pulled out of ECOWAS. You know, they go mine this gold. Actually, they didn't mine themselves. They used the children of Burkina Faso to mine, for instance. And then they go refine it in France and then now put it into end product and sell as their own. So after Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, they closed their doors and chased them out. A lot of them are actually losing jobs. Industries are closing. And in this case, I was imagining, what if Nigeria, DRC Congo did the same and they chased the imperialists out of their own countries? I think Europe will collapse at the same time, you know. And there is a time that Putin told us he does not need to fight France. The only thing that he needs to do is to liberate Africa. I don't know if you're seeing that or news. I don't know if you're watching news now that Ibrahim Traorè is in Russia. He has gone to meet the president of Russia, and in fact, they sent an aeroplane to Burkina Faso to pick him, and they left for Moscow, Russia. So that is what Putin actually did. Remember, Russia has never ever colonized any country. The only thing they have done is to liberate only. And that is where the chaos between them and America came in together with France. He also said that the freedom of Africa is the beginning of the West hunger. Because that is the last thing that the West will ever want. I mean, Africa being free. Oh my God. So these people are so angry, trying to come up with propaganda left, right, center. But at the end of the day, we should understand and we should know that the problem is not even the West. The problem is our governance, our leaders. That is our biggest and the biggest problem, having puppet leaders. So it's our own government that is betraying us. Imagine if we had like 40 people, 40 leaders, 40 African leaders like Ibrahim Traorè. What would have happened? How would Africa look like? That is a question that always lingers in my mind. So of course, if Congo did the same thing as Burkina Faso, I mean, the jobs lost will be much higher than, you know, what France has lost, because Congo is so big. You can imagine Congo is a single country, but having 3 time zones. Just because of the Congo forest, you know, Congo forest is so big, like extremely big. The country itself has 3 time zones. that tells you like these other countries, for instance, even Kenya is too small because we only have one time zone. Because if it's 7 a.m., it's 7 a.m. all over the country. So that means if Congo decided, you know what, we don't want the colonial masters, we don't, because they are fighting actually because of these raw materials, gold, a very precious commodity. So France actually needs Burkina Faso more than Burkina Faso needs France. And that is why recently you saw them, they want back, I mean they were begging Ibrahim Traorè to go back to Burkina Faso and start operating Air France. And it saddens me to know that the expensive lifestyle, the comfortable lifestyle that the colonial masters or the people that live in those countries, their expensive lifestyle is actually being funded. It's at the expense of us being poor. Because by them controlling us, they're able to do everything. And I think Sankara even told us that whoever feeds you actually controls you. So if you want independence, you need to feed yourself, go work, do your own thing anyway. So another issue that has arisen of late is Ivory Coast. People, actually not just people, the blacks and the white people all over the world, they are so mad at Ivory Coast because, as you all know, the president of Ivory Coast is a puppet. And what he has done is to provide an airbase for America. You can imagine. And once they provide an airbase for America, it means it's easy for them to invade Burkina Faso. Oh my God. I don't know, guys, if you watched this video of an NGO, of an American who pretended to be working for an NGO that supports women and children. And later on, we came to learn that she was a spy. And this opened our mind, and people started discussing that, you see, all these NGOs that are in Africa, actually they're not there to help you in any way. Most of them are spy agents. And I was wondering, we don't have NGOs in these developed countries. It's only us that have, these non-government organizations. I'm glad that, at last she was actually identified. And I don't know even if she was arrested. Hopefully she was arrested, because why would she want to go and betray our own? I mean, Ibrahim Traorè is someone that really wants the best for his country. Total independence is what he's yearning for, and is actually achieving it very soon. I would say Burkina Faso will be the first African country ever to fully decolonize. Yes, get it right. So I think also the best thing that can be done is for Ibrahim Traorè to stop all these NGOs in his country, because you can imagine what just happened. Oh, and then guys, there is this issue of Pakistan and India. There is just this one region that the Pakistan government is fighting for, and also the Indian government is fighting for. And both governments are coming out to claim, I mean, they just want this friction. I don't know who is in between, but we will get there. So I saw a video, we have already watched here the video, of the Indian government, in a boardroom having a discussion of how they are going to invade Pakistan. And then the general of India, in India actually, walked out of that meeting. And there's this guy that was calling him stupid, I don't know what. But at the end of the day, what you will come to learn is that, the issue here is kind of political, because it's like this other guy, the one that was mocking the general, he has an agenda. He just wants to bring out these fights here and there, not for the good of Indians, but for his own good. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one.